Proprietor.
I am the owner and proprietor of this house.
Terrestrial.
But terrestrial weight doesn't change.
Flask.
You wouldn't apply heat to a volumetric flask. That's what a boiling flask is for.
Crawl.
The only way to get inside is to crawl on all fours.
Locomotive.
This wasn't Britain's first steam locomotive.
Pound.
How much is it, Miss Rabbit?
£5, please.
Cereal.
No, you had cereal for breakfast.
Lunar.
But this will be Project Apollo's final lunar landing.
Precipitate.
General, the idea is to avoid panic, not precipitate it.
Manufacture.
My company manufactures toys and games for children.
Seismograph.
Scientists record these waves on a device called a seismograph.
Concise.
I was giving clear, concise orders.
Prey.
In the wild, tigers must be able to hunt and kill live prey.
Fluctuate.
The game fluctuated, but the average was in Wild Eve's favor.
Adaptable.
But humans are amazingly smart and incredibly adaptable.
Solder.
Boss, did you use a soldering iron to make that stress machine?
Outstanding.
So they actually are outstanding women of science.
Cargo.
All cargo going to and from North Korea must be inspected.
Administer.
I guess because he was too busy administering lands or something.
Inferior.
I didn't feel inferior until you told me I was.
Quiescent.
Slowing it still further is needless so long as inflation remains quiescent.
Coherent.
There aren't any coherent sentences.
Removal.
He thinks snow removal will be among the most requested services there.
Insufficient.
Our clothing was insufficient to protect us from the severe cold.
Tenement.
You have to live in your own tenement for a month, starting in December.
Impermeable.
They have not built impermeable walls, but they are erecting gates.
Astronomy.
Why do we study planets? Why do we study astronomy at all?
Temple.
Today, the ground floor of the pagoda is a Buddhist temple.
Intrusion.
Miss Havisham, please forgive the intrusion, but I felt I had to see you.
Spectator.
In 1872, the first FA Cup final was watched by just 2,000 spectators.
Adolescence.
Peers can have a big influence on a person's behavior, especially in adolescence. Snowflake.
It's a snowflake from the North Pole.
Audit.
Novus has its annual audit scheduled for the beginning of next week.
Grading.
Many colleges have switched to pass-fail grading.
Exception.
Babies can be anything, and your child is no exception.
Shell.
If you put a shell to your ear, you can hear the sea.
Inhibit.
A hangover can inhibit appetite for up to 36 hours.
Argue.
I don't want to argue with anyone. I just wish to live in peace.
Municipal.
You've also got something from the Pasadena Municipal Court.
Configuration.
I'm not familiar with any animal with that configuration of teeth.
Lawn.
She told Lynette Scavo, who was busy watering her lawn.
Radical.
An industrial revolution had just brought radical change to England.
Wither.
Let's give them some water so the flowers won't wither.
Seashore.
We were waterborne. Nearly everybody lived near the seashore or on rivers and canals. Interest.
I have no interest in a ghost.
Fantastic.
We'll have a fantastic view when we get to the top.
Championship.
At last year's World Championships, Ledecky won 5 gold medals.
Implication.
The decision will have wide implications for medical research.
Extend.
We've decided to extend your contract.
Meager.
They would have shared the island's meager offerings.
Dump.
She had dumped her cell phone, so there was no way to track her.
Recognition.
Facial recognition required. Welcome, Mr. Burns.
Already.
They had already eaten lunch when I arrived.
Preeminent.
BlackBerry was the preeminent smartphone.
Suction.
My feet are crazy wide. They're like suction cups in those boots.
Excess.
Did you ever see her drink to excess?
Associative.
Animals, he found, can exhibit associative learning.
Cognitive.
You don't need high levels of cognitive function for a simple job.
Trek.
Each journey involves yet another trek across the hot desert.
Nostalgic.
What's your most nostalgic memory from New York City?
Delineate.
Your words have delineated very prettily a graceful Apollo.
Baffle.
This movie baffles me every time we watch it.
Corpus.
These are the 100 most commonly used nouns according to the British National Corpus.
Worship.
You come with a gun to a place of worship?
Monotony.
After 5 minutes of this exercise, the little prince grew tired of the game's monotony.
Dissuade.
I'm not so easily dissuaded. The truth is out there, and I won't stop until I find it.
Tremulous.
He looked at me with a tremulous smile. He did not speak.
Slough.
New dead cells are added faster than the old ones slough away.
Conscientious.
She is clever, careful, and conscientious.
Beneficent.
The beneficent Oz has every intention of granting your requests.
Appease.
We need to appease him and start communications with him.
Discord.
She brings discord, and you bring harmony.
Extort.
They were extorting him. They wanted $50,000 to keep quiet.
Bluster.
In the name of God, blustered Gerald.
Iceberg.
You can't avoid the iceberg. The ship you're on is going down.
Energetic.
You're young, you're smart, you're energetic.
Colonial.
Some of his songs talk about opposition to colonial rule.
Exorbitant.
I'm afraid I can't possibly afford your exorbitant prices.
Slope.
And as you can see, this road has a slope.
Match.
Daddy, how can you light it without matches?
Deal.
There's a chance to make a great deal of money.
Archaeology.
Archaeology is the search for fact.
Legend.
A Chinese legend says that these 12 animals had a race.
Inanity.
Sometimes the sheer inanity of politicians is truly awesome.
Airborne.
Too heavy and short-winged to get airborne. It climbs trees instead.
Blues.
Jazz and blues clubs are scattered throughout the town.
Crest.
That was when John reappeared on the crest of the hill before him.
Primitive.
They were seen as violent and aggressive, primitive and uncivilized.
Extract.
Is made of an extract from the brown seaweed.
Comic.
Much of what's in this story is comic, is entertaining.
Buckle.
Ooh, look, a new Batman belt buckle.
Deform.
Removing it could deform my face or damage my health.
Ceremony.
The wedding ceremony will be over. You'll be husband and wife.
Informative.
It was a very informative lecture.
Mention.
Alec had never mentioned marriage to her.
Immunity.
In the process, they gained immunity to the disease.
Origin.
The origin of the name is still a mystery.
Arthritis.
Arthritis is a disease that causes pain and swelling in joints of the body.
Commemorate.
In Spain, there is a monument commemorating Christopher Columbus.
Poisonous.
The wild tomato is poisonous.